Hello and welcome to Solent Sport News. I'm your host Connor Thompson and here's your afternoon roundup. Both South Coast sides are in the Premier League action this weekend, but one is coming off their most famous victory, whilst the other is fighting to beat the drop. Joseph Weeks reports.
Southampton travel to the Hawthorns tomorrow to play West Brom in what is a six-pointer. Both sides are facing up to the fact that who loses this game could determine who will be playing Championship football next season. Saints are enduring their longest run without a win for 23 years, with their last league victory coming against Everton back in November. And despite the South Coast side staring relegation down the barrel, manager Mauricio Pellegrino doesn't seem too concerned.
Doesn't matter what will happen, we have to continue. I am looking forward to play this game, a difficult situation but in good moment with the team.
And national newspaper journalist and TalkSport South Coast reporter Alex Crook reckons that Pellegrino could be out of the job if they lose at West Brom.
They dare not lose. I think if they lose, that could well be curtains from Mauricio Pellegrino. And even a draw, would set an unwanted record. It will be their longest ever run in the Premier League without a victory. That's not something that Mauricio Pellegrino, especially with the fans calling for his head, is going to want on his CV.
It's not all doom and gloom on the South Coast though. Bournemouth welcome Stoke to the Vitality Stadium tomorrow on the back of their most famous victory on Wednesday night, where they thrashed current Premier League champions Chelsea 3-0 at Stamford Bridge. And despite not making any signings during the January transfer window, manager Eddie Howe insisted he is delighted with the squad that he has got.
It's a very difficult market to recruit players in. We've said that time and time again, and you can find yourself making expensive signings and then maybe not getting value for money at the other end of it. So we're very happy with what's happened.
That was Joseph Weeks. Back in Southampton, the Saints fans have a different view to that of their manager.
There's a lot of games still to go. Is it 13 games or something? They can't lose it. It's a must-win game for them.
I think it's a long way off yet. It is a six-pointer. It's very important for them to get a result out of that. They haven't had good results in the past, their past few matches, but I think that if they don't win it, then they are in a tricky position. If they do, then that could be a six-pointer.
I don't think West Brom will decide it, but I think they will go down, yeah.
No, not necessarily. I think there's a lot of games to go. I don't think one game will define their season. But having said that, they are in a lot of trouble. So they need to start picking up a series of wins.
Now on to football. Transfer deadline days are one of the biggest events on the sporting calendar. Mark Francis explored why players force moves for themselves and how it can create a domino effect within teams.
The transfer window slammed shut on Wednesday night after another hectic month of business up and down the country. Premier League clubs smashed the previous record set for total spent in January, with Arsenal's late signing of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang taking spending past the £450 million mark. However, one deal that didn't go through was Riyad Mahrez's potential move to Manchester City, and the Algerian has now been missing from Leicester's last 3 training sessions. Sky Sports reporter Damesh Sheth updated us on all the latest involving the Mahrez saga.
My name's Damesh Sheth. I'm a reporter at Sky Sports News. Mahrez's situation is the same. It's not just once he's asked for a transfer, it's twice now, and twice Leicester have said no. Only if the price is right and it suits us will we let him go. So I think clubs are trying to give the impression now, look, just because the player says they want to leave, it's not necessarily going to be the case unless it's good for them.
So, are more and more players trying to force through moves nowadays? And is there too much player power in the game? Aubameyang wanted the transfer to Arsenal. However, the deal hinged on Dortmund finding a replacement. Former Gunners striker and Sky Sports commentator Alan Smith believes the big transfers in the window lead to a domino effect amongst other clubs.
Hi, I'm Alan Smith and I work for Sky Sports. Sometimes these deals can be so hard to negotiate with so many different people involved, and everybody's waiting for everybody else. The Giroud, Batshuayi, Aubameyang triangle was a perfect example. One of them had to move in order for the triangle to become complete, and sometimes it takes until the last minute for that to happen.
Another debate surrounding the transfer window is the massive inflation of players' prices in recent years. Arsenal broke their club record with the £60 million signing of Aubameyang, but will he be able to live up to expectation? Smith is adamant the striker will be worth the price tag.
He's a natural finisher, obviously very quick, so he should be able to thrive, and if he does, then 60 million, whatever it was, 57 is not a bad price tag.
So what is it like to be involved in a deadline day transfer? Winger Alex Bray moved to Forest Green Rovers on loan from Rotherham on the final day. How did Bray find out his deadline day move was going ahead? He spoke of how relaxed the move was compared to some of the more high-profile deals conducted on the deadline.
How I found out was through the club, actually. So my gaffer at Rotherham, he was the one that rang me the night before about 9ish, just said, look, right, this club's going for you. Just come down when I can, really. So it went really smoothly, to be fair.
Bray was one of many who found a new club before the window shut. And one thing for sure is that despite the window being now closed, many deals are already being discussed for the summer. And I don't think we've heard the end of the Riyad Mahrez saga.
Transfer window is closed.
A Premier League star has gone AWOL. Leicester City winger Riyad Mahrez has missed training for a second consecutive day. The 26-year-old failed to secure a move to Manchester City in a deal that was believed to be worth a whopping £95 million. Leicester City manager Claude Puel is hopeful that Algerian would return to training with a smile and added that he would be happy to welcome him back into the squad. Arsenal broke their transfer record on deadline day, but will their new striker make his debut tomorrow? The Gunners welcome Everton to the Emirates, but Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang may miss the game due to a sickness bug. Manager Arsene Wenger had this to say.
Aubameyang was sick as well. We have to assess him today. Apart from that, Welbeck is not completely back from injury. He's not ready.
Looking at the more serious side of the game, Dan Hawkins follows up on recent racism allegations coming out of West Ham United.
You've got 10,000 people shouting racist abuse or calling, throwing bananas on the pitch or monkey chants.
I didn't feel it was part of the job, no. It's not what I signed up for.
The black thing never came into my head one bit. It was about being a professional footballer.
There were certain insulting things that were said and things that were done, but you have to put that in the back of your mind, be strong, and just go and do what you have to do. Because like I always tell people, the soccer ball doesn't care what color you are.
The unwanted subject of racism in football is centre stage once again this week. English football's governing body has confirmed it is looking into reports that West Ham United's head of recruitment, Tony Henry, made offensive, race-related comments regarding new signings. Piara Power is from the Football Equality Network, Football Against Racism in Europe, and has labelled Henry's comments as nothing short of disgraceful.
In the end, what he said appears to be deeply racist. Africa is a continent. This is not a small group of people to all of whom you can ascribe a particular behaviour. And to do that is deeply racist, it's judgmental, and it's wrong.
With racism clearly still an issue in the game, ex-England international and Manchester United defender Rio Ferdinand thinks the current relevant authorities are not pulling their weight, and young players affected by racism have nowhere to turn.
People that kick it out, show racism the red card, PFA, they need to be the first ones knocking on these boys' doors for support. Now, I don't believe that's happened. Whether you're on the right side of this or the wrong side of this, you need support and help to improve and to rebuild, and that doesn't happen. And we wear t-shirts all of our career, one day a year for kick it out, but you're meant to be there when these situations come out and happen.
In response, Troy Townsend, education manager at Kick It Out, football's equality and inclusion institution, has explained exactly what the organisation is doing to stamp out racism in football.
Kick It Out is not a sanctioning body. So what we do, we highlight incidents that have happened either on the pitch or in the stands or wherever they may be. We report them to the FA. If the FA choose to investigate, we are not allowed to contact the clubs.
We shall have to wait and see as to whether or not the accusations made against Tony Henry are correct. But what we do know is that there is absolutely no place for racism in today's game. That's all from us today. Please tune in tomorrow.
To tennis now, and with the Davis Cup getting underway earlier today, our reporter Nathan Sabanakita joins us in the studio to reflect on Ramos Villanova's 3-0 victory over Britain's Liam Brodie and wraps up the rest of the action from the first round.
Yeah, so last time you checked on me, Cameron Norrie was 2 sets down, but now he's battled back to take a set. Now he's only trailing 2-1 after winning the third set 6-3. In that third set, Agat's body language suggested he took the foot off the gas. It was his body language was just not on it, and his coaches and managers were just not impressed with him in the box. You could see they were clearly frustrated. On the way currently now in this fourth set, it's 3-2 to Norrie, who's just broken serve as I speak. The fans are elated, and it's really well deserved. The Brit will be desperate to hold on to give Great Britain a win on the board after his compatriot Liam Brodie suffered a straight set defeat to Albert Ramos earlier today.
To American football now, Minneapolis is playing host to this year's Grand Slam event, where two NFL giants clash at the US Bank Stadium, with over 65,000 fans in attendance and over 106 million expected TV viewers worldwide. Our reporter Scott Phillips has more.
On Sunday, two teams look to make history in Minnesota in the showpiece of the season. The New England Patriots take on the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. The Patriots are looking for their record-equaling 6th title, while the Eagles will be hoping for their first. New England's quarterback, Tom Brady, already has 5 titles, and the 40-year-old is looking to extend his record. The Eagles are the overwhelming underdogs, having lost their star quarterback Carson Wentz in December due to a season-ending injury. Justin Timberlake is performing the halftime show, and the singer has no doubts on where he places the New England Patriots quarterback.
Yeah, Tom's great. I mean, he's the greatest of all time, officially. So, yeah, I mean, Tom's definitely the type of dude you'd invite over to watch the Super Bowl with you. The problem is he's always in the Super Bowl.
And Tom Brady thinks that keeping focus will be vital for a win.
But you're trying to win every time you take the field, and you try with everything you got. A lot of times I tell our team, whatever it takes, don't ever let up. Don't ever let your mind drift to a place where you lose, a certain level of belief, because I believe that until the clock runs out, it's never over.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for today. But to keep up to date with all your local and national sporting news, make sure you follow us on our Twitter, which is Solent Sports J, and for behind-the-scenes access, add us on Snapchat. You can get to us on that at Solent Sport. Thank you for listening and have a nice weekend.